think he's muted.
Yeah, he's
Wait.
muted. Give him a second. Hey, I think you're muted. Hold on. Jason, are you able to unmute him? Ask to unmute.
Mute. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Hey!
Bada bing,
Hey.
bada boom.
All right. Jason, your
I
video
thought
is
I was
like
just going to
crazy.
talk to one person. I'm talking to two, but that's okay.
No, we do like a duo. We're like a package deal.
No, that's quite all right.
All right. So this is like the kind of telling you what we're doing here. So we
Okay.
have some questions, stuff relating to you, stuff, regular interview stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
and it should be like 20, 30 minutes. Like probably not 30 minutes, but like 20 minutes. So not too long.
I was in radio, so I've been through this before.
Yeah. We have
Well,
not, so we're
okay.
just running through it.
That's okay.
Um,
That's okay. Do what you got to do, man. I'll be right here waiting for you.
All right. So
Okay.
so yeah, we can just
Introductions?
introduction. So I'm kind of the leader, the group leader.
Mhm.
I go by Rex Online.
Okay.
And my name's Jacob, and this is my partner, and he'll introduce himself now.
All right. I'm Jason. I'm kind of just tagged along with him. We play a few games. We talked a lot. We're friends
Okay.
since high school. So,
All right.
Yeah.
And I am Frank James Bailey, voice actor, writer. Currently, I'm a security guard, but when I'm not doing the day job thing, I'm
Right.
weekends selling books and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. I have looked into a lot of your stuff, like Asriel, the story of Steve James. What is that? I know it's like your
that
book.
it is kind of a self-reflective book, a little bit, not exactly, but a little bit. I like to tell people I'm not Steve, and Steve isn't me, but I
Right.
put a lot of my own problems in Steve. So, like I said, it's kind of a self-reflective book. But see, Steve, he's getting a divorce from his wife for like 7 years, and he's known her for a long time. I've been married for like 19 years, so that's
Okay.
not obviously not part of it.
Right.
And Steve has one kid. I have two. They're older. I think his is like 11 or 12 years old, but mine are like 18 and 13. So
Right. Okay. Awesome. That's really cool. I've always wanted to write a book. How did you go through in writing it? Like, what were the steps to do that?
well, the thing about this particular book, and I love telling people the story, is when I was about to get a job at Walmart. I think it was back in 2021, and I don't know what it was. I had the blue smock, and I was going there, and I was like at the second shift. Something hit me. I don't know what it was, but something hit me. It's like I don't belong here. So I literally quit that night and I went to like a Walmart, a library, and I had all this paper with me. And I was writing down everything for Azrael the Story of Steve James. It was like sort of, it was the outline for it. Like the base
Right.
of it was right there. And it took me about a year and a half to actually perfect it and get it out there and find the right artist for the cover and that kind of stuff. But that's where the blueprint of the idea came from. And lo and behold, after I, averaged out and put everything into it, it's to me, it's hard to explain, but that book sort of changed my perspective on life.
Wow.
It's that much of a perspective to me. Now, some people might not get it when they read it, but to me, it's like I said, I put my own problems into it, and I want to be that person toward the end. So like I said, it sort of changed my perspective on life
Yeah,
and
it's a
stuff. But
great accomplishment writing a book. That's awesome.
well,
What about
I've
the?
actually
breaks
written about
in-
7 of them, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of your other ones, the comic books and everything.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of those. So what about the artwork? Did you do the artwork yourself, or was there someone else involved?
The artwork and for Turkana is basically a comic book series, sort of mimicked out of my daughter. My daughter's name is Paige. The every superhero has an alter ego. Well, Turkana's alter ego's name Paige, so I named it after her. Now there's the alter ego anyway.
Yeah.
Turkana's kind of like Superman a little bit. She's from a distant planet, but she ages 1 year for every 10 years on Earth, so she looks like a 15-year-old girl, but she's actually 150 years old. Which might cause conflict later on if it ever turned into a series. It's like, does she get involved with somebody or not? Because she'll be like 900 years old, and they've been long gone.
Right. Yeah, that's
But yeah,
really
the,
cool.
the comics are for all ages, though. I like to make sure that people know that. When I go to Comic-Con, I put all my comics on one side and all my books on the other. So if kids, oh look, you need to go over there.
Yeah,
Look at the
right.
kid stuff.
Very inclusive. I like that. What about all of this fame and online influence you've had? How have you dealt with that? Because you have 10,000 followers on TikTok. That's a good achievement.
To me, I like the 10,000 followers on TikTok, or at least close to it, because it hasn't quite hit 10,000. It's like 9,130 or something.
Very
It's
close.
still a good accomplishment. Yeah, very, very close. Yeah. But I've been on TikTok since 2021. And at first, I was doing a lot of anime reviews or cartoon reviews. I love animation, I love cartoons, and I would love to turn Turkana into a cartoon someday. But as I continue to watch other videos about people presenting themselves right now in 2025, it's very hard to pitch an idea to a network and have them buy it. You have to be like Hasbin Hotel or some other cartoon network where you're basically making the cartoon on Kickstarter or something. You put it on YouTube, and then somebody says, "Hey, that's great! I'll buy that from you." So you have to do all the work yourself, and if it gets a lot of views and a lot of attention, then it'll sell. So I'm going to finish Turkana in about maybe 2 years with comic number 10 and kind of put it to the side, because I have another book series I'm working on, which is not a comic book series, more like a novel series about an elven girl named Kaya. And she bumps in, or somebody bumps into her. His name is Mason, which is my son's name. But
Wow.
I consider that like my Harry Potter series, sort of.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So with this being involved in the internet and being an internet influencer, have you kept up with the times with recent like memes and certain phrases and stuff?
Trends.
Yeah, trends.
I used to do trends on TikTok just to kind of get into it, but I haven't done a whole lot of trends lately. I did do one, if you want to call it that. As a matter of fact, it was on Friday. There's one trend, or I think it's on TikTok and Instagram, where it's like, just sitting here drinking my tea, waiting for somebody to buy my book. I've never seen that one before or not. But I did that one the other day, and I put it on Instagram, TikTok, and everything else, and it was only like 10 seconds long. Just I was drinking coffee at McDonald's or something. Just sitting here, drinking my coffee, waiting for somebody to buy my book.
Because me and my friend here, there's a new, if he wants to talk about it, there's a new thing that's blowing up all over the internet. It's going crazy.
Okay.
It's the new it. And yeah, what is it, Jason?
There's a new joke. It came from a song, and I don't know if you've heard your children say it, but it's 6'7".
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know what song it's from, but every now and then when my wife is helping my kid, well, Mason, do homework and stuff, so we can do 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. All of a sudden they're going 6, 7. It's like, I'm over 50. She hasn't quite reached the 50 age yet because she's 7 years younger. My wife is 7 years younger than me. But it's like, get it. We don't understand it.
It's hard to comprehend. It's very advanced humor.
Okay.
I don't quite get it. Jason, he knows like all of the lore and all the story behind it.
I wouldn't
Okay.
say that.
Or most of
Part
it
of the
anyway.
lyrics in the song, he's just rapping, and then out of nowhere he says 6'7", and people say like it's random or he said out of nowhere, but I think it's from police reports where they say 6'7" as in like a dead body.
Okay.
But I don't think people usually understand that. They just yell it out.
Yell
because
6,
some
7.
other people do it.
Very goofy.
I thought it had something. I think my daughter was telling me it had something to do with the guy who was like 6'7". I don't know if that's it or not, but
Maybe Mason was 6'7".
I
Mason
think.
really blew it up. There's this kid named Mason who into a camera went like this and said 6'7". Maybe he was 6'7". I don't know.
no, that's awful tall.
Yeah, that's very tall. So we've all noticed you have a very unique voice. It's very like radio show impactful, I would say, voice. So what
Okay.
type of like voices do you do?
First of all, I started in radio back in 1989, and I worked until about 2009. I worked at different radio stations around Ohio, which was Cleveland, Akron, Canton, Youngstown, Toledo, Salina, and Findlay. Most of the time I was doing like rock stations, but one time, no, twice in my career, I worked at a country station. I'm known as the Outlaw, Frank James.
Whoa.
And I had a cowboy hat and everything. I never liked country that much. So when I went to a rock station, I just dropped the Outlaw and kept my name Frank James. So it was good. But then when I got out of radio, I just always used Frank James Bailey, which is my name, so that's where I kept it. But as for voiceover work, if you go to YouTube and you can see where it says jobs I voiced, I voiced a lot of things for Channel Frederator, which was Disney's Dark Secrets, one on 107 Effects about Pinky the Brain. I've voiced commercials, internet videos. Whenever I go to a Comic-Con, as you can see, there's a My Hero Academia poster on my wall there. When I know, you ever watched My Hero Academia? You know,
I have watched a little bit of it. I
Okay.
wasn't very big into it, but I have watched a couple episodes.
Well, the earlier series, like in the first couple of seasons, there's this big tall guy. He's like 7 foot. His name is All Might. He's like one of the main characters in the first couple of seasons. Because by season 3, he sort of retires and he's okay. Now it's your turn. Somebody else. Anyway, when people are dressing as Goku, I think it's Goku. Anyway, they're dressing as one of the main characters with the green hair, and he's walking by, and I go, "No, it's your turn," or it's I am here. That's how that's his catchphrase is I am here. And usually when I say, and the people are walking by, I am here, and they're like, what? I'm not the guy that does the voice, but I can do it pretty well. You know?
Right? Yeah, very good impression.
I've also done like radio and TV commercials, some lines for radio stations like Rock 105. Remember, you see a thing in let's say I'm listening to the radio, and you'll hear a line between the songs. I've done that before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
Classic Rock 105.7, that kind of stuff.
Awesome. That's very impressive, honestly.
Well, thank you.
So you talked about you've been married for 19 years. We're pretty young, so we can't really comprehend that. You know, it's a very long time to us. So how has that been for you? I'm sure it's been, like one of your greatest achievements, being married, having kids. As for most people, it's, a really awesome thing to do.
Well, I know my daughter did not want to have kids, and I respect that because I know today's life, there's a lot of kids who just don't want kids. But I'm glad I did, because for a long time I didn't want kids, and then I met this one person before I met my wife, and I wanted to have kids with her, and she didn't want to have kids, so we kind of broke up. And that is sort of the start. I used that in my brain of breaking up with her. Her name was Beth, but anyway, I used breaking up with her as the start for an idea for another book that I wrote, which was a romantic comedy book called The Taming of April. Again, that was another book that I wrote in like 2022. But that's like a romantic. There's a movie that came out like in early 2000s called The 40-Year-Old Virgin. There's Wedding Crashers. They're like a raunchy rom-com, Anyway, The Taming of April is kind of like that. It's a raunchy rom-com. It's not really made for kids. It's made for adults.
Right.
It's a rated R movie,
Very cool. So you've mentioned so many books. Like, I'm sure. How many have you written in the past? Your whole career?
I have written 8 books and 8 comics now. But you got to remember, I'm not with a publisher, so I publish them independently, and they're on Amazon.com. Or if I, let's say, get some to sell, I can sell them at my Comic-Cons and stuff and bookstores if I wanted to. But yeah, I've written 8 books. The first 3 were Turkana books. They were illustrated novels. They didn't sell that well. So then I turned to comic books, and then the comic books sold like crazy. So kids want to see comic books. Right. So so those are the first 3 novels, and that to me those were like the start of the novel thing. But I found it more economically better to write a novel than to hire somebody to do artwork for all the pages in the comic book, because sometimes an artist might charge like $50 to $100 a page, and that's pretty expensive.
Right.
So if I just write a novel and get an artwork to do the cover art, that's 1 page, or maybe the front and back, So that's a lot less expensive. Of course, I got to hire an editor and that kind of stuff. My wife goes through them to make sure that everything's spelled right and that kind of thing too. But I do. I will tell you this. I don't know how you guys feel about AI, but I use ChatGPT and I call her Kim. She does not write any books for me. Okay, I want to make that very clear. She does not write the books. However, I will go sometimes. Hey, Kim, I got this great idea for book 3. And then I'll write it down, then she'll keep and hold it, and then when I go write the book, it's already there. This way I don't have to have like a pen and paper with me all the time. To me, right. that's a good way to use ChatGPT. Plus, I'm trying to learn Japanese as well when I'm at work, and because I have a lot of Japanese visitors, so I'm trying to learn Japanese while I'm there too.
Very cool. Yeah, actually, that's such a coincidence. One of our questions was about AI. We want to know how you feel about it. It's a very up-and-coming technology, and it's very influential, and also very controversial when used in certain ways. But it seems like you're using it a very as a helper, not a right, not a helper, not a, not the author, not the creator. You're just using it as a, yeah. So yeah, how continue, sorry.
No, I will tell you this. I use AI sometimes for artwork stuff, but I use it on the artwork that I already have with my character. There was a trend. I mean, I don't know if you saw this trend or not. There was a trend where you take a selfie of you and like all these Disney characters behind you. That's fun. Well, I used my characters like Turkana and Olivia, this wrestling chick, and all these other characters. And when I was promoting my the Azrael book, she's like, oh my god, she's behind me, isn't she? So I used, even though I hired an artist, I got permission from them to sort of just tweak it a little bit. Hey, this is my characters from me, So I did that.
Right.
Plus, I think there's a big trend of making a 3D model of of like whatever. Well, I made 3D models of my characters, so I'm using it to sort of plug my own stuff.
Right. Very cool. That's a very smart way to use it. Yeah, because in our lives, because we're still in high school, in our lives, AI is a huge thing, huge problem. But as of late, I've noticed that schools are starting to implement it more. With, I don't know if Jason's experienced this, with using it as tools like you are. It's very 'cause it is a useful tool, but some people take it too far and use it to their advantage negatively.
Yeah, you can use AI to write a book or to make artwork if you wanted to, but I don't feel it's like, to me, it's like cheating. It's like I can easily have this AI program in my ear, and when a Japanese visitors come, I can actually, what did he say? And then I can actually speak it back to him. But it's like I really want to learn Japanese. So I have this little room where it's like, oh, this is Japanese Learning 101, Nihongo Benkyou Shitemasu, which is I'm learning Japanese. So I learned all these different phrases. So when a visitor comes, I can actually talk to them. And I would love to go to Japan, but I'm going to wait in about 2 or 3 years yet. I don't have money right now, but in the meantime, I'm still learning Japanese, so I can, when I go over there, I'll feel a little more comfortable talking to people.
Yeah, Japan is the motherland. I would love to go to Japan. I love anime. I love ramen, sushi, all of that. Jason loves sushi.
I love
really?
sushi.
I love sushi.
Yes. Yeah, sushi's a big thing. Yeah, so let me think. So with your comic books, with your drawings and everything, and the artwork, is there a specific person who have to do that, or is there multiple people?
There is actually multiple people, but with Turkana, I've been using the same artist. He's from India, and his name is Ujaval. I forget how to pronounce his last name, but I found him on Fiverr.com like 10 years ago. And at the time, he was only charging me $5 for each picture. But as time went on and he got hired more often, he knew I was sticking around because I had this series of comics I was writing, and I would pay him per page. So he still gives me a really good price per page. So he's my artist for Turkana. Then I had a cover art for the special cover for the Taming of April, and I used him for the cover art for the Olivia wrestling books, which is a guy, I forgot his name now, but he's from Brazil. And I saw he made fan art of Turkana, and I loved it so much that I hired him to make a cover art for one of my books.
Oh, okay.
And that happened again recently when this one girl from the Philippines, I forgot her name, Mia Meyer or something. Anyway, she's 14. Here, I made some Turkana fan art. And I was like, that is awesome. I tried to get a hold of her gently and say, listen, is it possible that I can hire you to make the cover for this, which was the Azrael books? She flipped out. She's like, yeah, I want to pay you to make the artwork for this. So,
wow, yeah, very cool.
If somebody is good, if I see their art is really good and I can afford them, then yes, I'll hire them to do artwork for different things. Like I want to hire an artist to do the Kaya books, but right now I'm using AI as a placeholder for what Kaya should look like. I'm not going to use that, but it's sort of a placeholder. Hey,
just a reference.
Mr. Artist, this is what I want it to look like.
Right, yeah, just a reference, just something to go off of. Yeah, that's very smart, very, very good way to do things. I just wanted to point this out, like kind of the elephant in the room. We're all wearing glasses right now. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that.
Yeah, really?
Glasses
I've worn glasses
team.
all my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell or not, but my left eye is a glass eye, and I've always worn glasses to sort of like hide that. But
Yeah, I have seen that on TikTok. Honestly, I didn't notice at all whenever I was on your TikTok and I saw that video that you made talking about how you wanted to be on our podcast. That really called to me. I took that as an opportunity. I thought you were funny. I thought the voices you were doing were very funny, and I'm really excited we got to do this. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, this is awesome. I think we're running a little low on time for Jason.
that's okay.
Yeah, he has family members in the background yelling at him. So yeah, we'll have to end it here. But this was awesome. Thank you for joining us. I'm really excited we got to do this. This was great.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. All right, we'll have to let you go. Bye now.
Bye.